I understand the importance of passing the baton before there's no one there to pass it to, right? That's a bar. But really, like, yeah. So that's what this is behind me. From arts and conversation to just words to brave new voices and the harvest at World Cafe Live. Like, these are OGs. They've been doing it probably longer than some of y'all been alive. So we want to take time and we want to honor this. We've never done this before. We had 3 artists, and I wanted to make sure we came heavy. And we doing something different, right? So behind me, again, we got Greg Corbin. Y'all can make some noise. We got Lady Sarkazym. Y'all can make some noise. And when we got King Shyste, and y'all can make some noise. So in this time, this is the time that we focus in and we hone. And for me, again, this is a big moment, and I just want to invite y'all all into the baton being passed, because eventually, y'all won't see me on this mic as much hosting, because I need to find some other young whippersnapper to come do this in my place and do it well. So there's that, and I'm walking off and let them do their thing. Enjoy.
I'm just gonna hook you up. Come on, G, come on, let's go. I'm looking out for my brother.
COVID, man. Well, I just want to say, Louis, thank you so much, man. I appreciate the invite, and I appreciate the time. In all gratitude, my heart is very, very full to see a lot of young adults that I worked with when I was running PYPM, which is the Philly Youth Poetry Movement. It took young people to brave new voices and to change a lot of young people's lives. But to see the impact, I'm not a person that's like about the moment. I'm a person that's thinking about what will you be doing when you're 35 if I meet you at 15? Because it's all about this concept of leaving seeds inside of one another, and something I've come to grips with, because I had my moment of narcissism, and it's all about me, right? And I think it's hard to admit that, right, and say it's all about me, or I want to be famous. And we grow up in a very narcissistic industry, in a culture. And the truth is, I've gotten to a place where I realize how hard it is not to be forgotten in memory, but how beautiful it is to be remembered in somebody's cell memory, to be left behind in somebody's genetics. Because there's so many ancestors I have in my bloodline that I don't even know exist that are speaking through me right now. And so when we speak of words, when we speak of love, when we speak of joy, we have to generate it from within and become that in order to produce it from the most genuine and authentic way possible. Because it's easy to produce sadness. It's easy to produce disappointment. But we're going to need gratitude and joy and love to get through anything in the future. And so may we spread joy, kindness, truth, and honesty as we speak right now. So I'm going to bring in all my ancestors and all those who are moving through me as I stand on their shoulders, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, especially my father, who is very, very present with me now, and I can feel him to the point where sometimes I am him. And then my son right now, my son's name is Noble Sage. And that is one of the best lessons, to see my wife give birth in our living room, to give life inside of a living room, to look at life come out of her body is like, whoa, I thought I was really doing something, right? And so people talk about, yeah, I'm making it through life. I got an Oscar. Did you give birth? Yeah. I got a promotion. I got that new job. Did you give birth? Like, I'm just saying, it's something amazing. I know everybody's not gifted to have that, but I just say, like, whoa, I just give a lot of gratitude. So I'm going to read a poem, and this first poem is, we're going to round robin this. We're going to flip it a little bit, right? And how many of y'all have a job right now and you thinking about it in different ways? And you like, I don't know if this is meant for me. And you thinking about, my value proposition is not aligned correctly right here. I don't feel too honest and integral about what I'm doing. This money is dirty because I'm lying to myself about being where I am. How many of y'all feel like that right now? And for all my creatives in the room who are the entrepreneurs who already stepped on the other side and divested from capitalism by creating their own capital, thank you. With that being said, I'm going to read a poem called It's Time to Go. Here you go. When you are sitting at your desk for your morning coffee and you want to throw a cup of your coping mechanisms at your colleague, it's time to go. When you are writing emails full of profanity for your boss, Motherfucker, who you think you talking to? Bitch must be crazy. I do your job better than you. Just to get it off your chest, so you push delete or turn it into a poem. It's time to go. When your talents and gifts outweigh the skills package of your supervisor, whose supervision is implicitly backed by the privilege of seniority and maybe the color of their skin, which invites more friends that hinder their weaknesses, it's time to go. When you skip meetings mentally, barely holding the information inside your mind, when you want your time to be your time, when they can't pay you enough to stay complacent, stuck on the treadmill of desperation, living paycheck to paycheck, when you feel like punching the alarm clock after it forces you from your dreams that help you escape the reality that you ain't liking your reality. It's time to go. When your Sunday evening is filled with anxiety because you don't know what to expect in your inbox on Monday morning, all because the lack of boundaries is very clear. It's time to go. When you dread the decay of dialogue on morning in which the morning is a morning moment of lost atonement because you realize you're being paid to slave away tilling the soil for corporate cotton. Inside a culture of extraction and exploitation, there's a reason why it's called the working field. And no matter how beneficial the benefits are, it doesn't negate that your shining star doesn't belong in this solar system. You are the countertop that doesn't belong in a kitchen where hell is overflowing day in and day out, destroying the sanctuary. There is no psychological safety when your mental is being held hostage in a hostile environment. And yes, there is choice. You can stay or you can go. But the Stockholm Syndrome shatters your idea of home, so even when you're in good company, you still feel alone, isolated and ostracized, placing a chalk line around division. Isn't it interesting how we work for liberation only to build a prison? Employers gatekeep and power in dynamics that replicate oppression. Poverty is a strategy meant to keep people addicted to the idea of being an employee, while the rich use the addiction of the employee for financial stability to keep their pockets polished with prosperity. Welcome to the days of the modern-day slave and a free trade slave working 1 foot in the grave, living half the life you are supposed to live, dying a death that only your job can give. Now you're living the dreams of your boss at a minimum wage cost till your place of employment takes a minimum wage loss. Now you're taking a minimum wage loss because your job had no choice but to lay you off. This is for the creative genius, sitting in the somber, sitting in the same seats every day, doing the same thing every day, frustrated and stressed out because it feels the same way. Sleepwalking, drowning in the ocean of office hypocrisy, surviving abusive relationships, waiting for the spaceship to take them away when they have everything inside them to build their own. Truth is, playing it safe is not really secure, and it ain't really freedom, but we gotta pay bills. Let's keep it real. But until then, fight for your dreams, fight for your dreams, fight for your dreams, fight for your dreams. Because when you're sitting at the desk for your morning coffee and you throw that cup of cold coping mechanisms at your colleague, you have no choice but to go. When you finally write that email full of profanity, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you, it's definitely no choice but to go because you decide to push send. When your talents and gifts outweigh the skills package of your supervisor and you choose to build the infrastructure that's structured to build your dreams and your destiny, it's now time to go. So will you go or will you stay? Will you go or will you stay? Will you go or will you stay? Because the working field, to keep it real, freedom is hard work, it's discipline, determination, it's staying up late at night, building through your frustration. Because now it's not about being codependent on the system, it's about you building a system inside of systems that are meant to liberate who you are so your dreams can live into reality. So are you ready to keep it real inside your reality? Are you ready to keep it real inside your reality? Because to all my entrepreneurs, my creative geniuses, and those that are willing to work your ass off, and for the people that are staying at a job because they love it, there's nothing wrong with it either. See, this is ether, and this is love. But the only way for you to be happy and enjoy with what you're becoming is to walk in your purpose. So I dare you to walk in your purpose. Hey.
Peace, y'all. It's probably obvious at this point, but I'm Lady Sarkazym. I'm just going to say it anyway. So, how many of us been in relationships where you felt like it's time to go? Like, so this is the relationship version of It's Time to Go. It's called Dear Lost Joan. Sometimes love will steal all of your senses because you want to fight for a lost moment, but is he still that moment? Like a drug addict fighting for that first high, does he still feel like that first high? You want to spoon feed him excuses because your reasons hurts less than his truths. He seems unrecognizable compared to that moment from yesterday. There is a reason for everything. He is everything that he has shown you, and maybe you are picking a side that you rather be true as he picks a part of you while picking you apart. I know you are not all that you appear to be, don't worry. I won't ask a lot of questions, I don't want to hear you lie. How many times did he tell you that he was fucked up and you told him that he was beautiful? How many times did he tell you that you were the best thing that he ever had? You thought he was putting you on a pedestal, but all he was doing was placing you in his pocket where the wild things are, where the darkness lies, for his truth to be unseen, for omission to be his getaway car. He robbed you blind. But when reality sets in, you are allowed to break down. You get to break shit. You get to cry until your eyelids swell. You get to scream at the top of your lungs. You get to curse his name until he feels your pain, knowing he will never feel your pain. You get to wake up the next morning. You get to have one more glass of wine, walk backwards down your hallway, relive the night before, take a shower, get dressed, put ice on your eyelids, brush your teeth, comb your hair, apply your makeup, all while looking in the mirror. Who is looking back at you? She is not broken. She is not broken. Her sanity may have been borrowed last night, but she is not broken. She is human. She sees humanity in all men. She never gives up, but she gets tired. How many burdens can one back carry until it breaks? How many scars can one take until she is unrecognizable? A stitch in time will save none. If you pull the thread, it might make a bigger hole. A watch pot never boils when you assume you make an ass out of you and me. This is simply what we are taught when we tell our little girls to always be strong, black woman, be strong, black don't crack. But if you continuously bang on it, it makes a loud enough sound, just enough to be noticed. Turn up when the music plays, turn down just enough to listen to your soul cry. What is that little girl telling you, dear lost John? Never choose to be the pawn. How are you doing in your search for self, queen? Have you found that the common thread of your bad choices is you, still beautiful, but you?
How y'all doing? How many times we gonna read headlines of black boy crimes? 8 shots from a 9 left another mother crying. Can't imagine the hurt placing your son in the dirt 6 feet deep. But it seems that 6 feet deep. With a broken heart, she laid in caskets sharp, and it seems that no one's tailor-made for them streets. But gun blasting is in fashion, but it's the parents left with the pain to wear. Dress your prayers in dark attire, in a hope Allah sees it fit. Umi making du'as, I hope the Lord hears. Hope the Lord answers. I hope the Lord answers. I hope the Lord answers. There's too many shootings. The shooting of Huey Newton. They killed the Panther. Destruction of black civilization. William Chancellor. Placed hip-hop on the auction block. Gave rappers whips and chains. Made slaves of the masters of ceremony. My poetry's insurrection. Denmark Vesey. Peace King. What does it mean? What that message mean? What does it mean when you bring that message that we are supporting a pedophile when he sings? We supposed to protect queens by any means, even those teens. But in what world we support a man that touching on little girls? It's that R&B, hip-hop, celebrity worship we placing over our kids. Our moral compass is lost. Must have jumped ship, drowned in the middle passes, because our balance is off. But the true and living know that I am top 5. The 10% try to lie about the gods, but you can't hide this big poetry energy. It's so much North Philly in me. Give me one mic, I will snatch the narrative from my natural enemy like I'm from round here. It ain't too often I come back around the way. When memories of old street corner legends have passed away. And the last time I came through, I seen these young bucks freestyling on the blocks I grew up on. When one of them noticed me in the crowd, he stepped up and said, "Oh, this here ain't about what you used to do. Slow down, little man, you don't know me. All respect due, I'm big homie. When you speak to me, pick up all your pants, pull up your belt. Before you do that, Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm a lyrical Glock fresh out the box. You want them small caliber 38s with the serial scratched off. Duct tape trying to hold together the handle. Nervous trigger finger, you wildin' kid. Miss target aliens, hit innocent kids. That's teddy bears and candles. This rest in peace poetry written in graffiti. I'm bossy, Jesus Christ, I'm nice. I predate you like Enoch. I've been in the church pews. I study my lessons to this. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Freedom, justice, equality. Food, clothes, and shelter. Love, peace, and happiness. 360 degrees. That's how I react, kid. It sounds like your soul just got here. I'm on my 5th life. This world's never been a marathon. I'm about to pass you twice. It's a big difference what we doing here. It's all my life experience plus the books I read, making me spoken word Maria Baraka. While you trying to be the next Waka Flocka. I'm a triple OG elder. I wear that with a badge of honor. My thoughts on a luxury liner. You still cruising on them slave ships. Chicknally got you trained and whipped. Too many holes in your flows when you come through with them excuses. Lies get exposed, but Lord knows you got a ready-made excuse. But I, too, am a fatherless child for them same ghettos. But our creation must be the abomination of that wicked man's civilization. And you and I are both far from a simulation. Peace, King. One day you be the head of your household. You understand when I tell you that family is everything. As he walk, talk, find his wall in the middle of the block, he lights up, try to pass off. I tell him I don't smoke. He say that's real. We put it out and continue to build. Tell him man means mind, black is unity. Every man should have a code. Mine's is God, family, community. And through all the police brutality and black on black crime, I know I feel like my brothers are born to bleed. But I tell him you got to stay in prayer. Plus I gave him books to read. But he said at 19 he's having a scene and rap don't work out. He's back to pushing pills and hustling weed. No, we got options. God gave you free will. Man, dominion, earth, the world been yours since the date of birth. You're blessed. Collective is better than individual success. Don't be scared to ask for help. I gave him jewels so he could increase his wealth. Before the project with pyramids at a plantation, Black Wall Street, Jim Crow gets civil rights. And even though today you can freeze your own cubes, you act like whites got colder ice. God body no equal. Garvey said, up ye mighty people. One love. I'm out, kid. I just had to give you some real rap. This rhythm and poetry from your old head.
People love options. Okay. All right. So, how we want to do this? Yell out any. You said nature? Nature? Okay. Anything you say, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, dope shit. Catch you on something. Nah, but just say anything you want, and I'm gonna try to capture as many of the words as possible. Then I'm gonna yell out a theme. Evolution, freedom, nature, facts. Love, death. So let's do it like this, because that's too many words. And honestly, like, I just had a child. In my brain, you know, women get pregnant brain. They like don't remember everything because it's like so many adjustments. I don't remember half the shit I'm hearing right now. And I just want to be honest and transparent with that. So I'm going to flip this on its head. I want you to yell out words while I'm doing a poem, and I'm going to latch on to that. And we're going to make this a collective poem because we're all writing together anyway. As my brother KRS-One once said, I don't write my songs. We write our songs together. I get my songs from you. So let's just model that real quick. What do y'all want the theme to be about, though? Nature, life. We're going to stick to that. Nature, life. That's simple shit. All right. So I'm going to start at evolution, facts, and freedom and love. Those are the things I remember. They said the revolution won't be televised to your demise. I don't think the revolution can be televised. It will be criticized. Then it's fact and fiction and diction and dictionaries. It's scary how wary the world really gets. They said the 40% of the society is burnt out from watching too much of burnt out shit. Flames and fire happening everywhere. Bring back the trees. Bring back the trees. The ocean is burning. Oil in the ocean. Oh my God, I need a new love potion. Fact and freedom. And I'm in love with the idea of being in love, but I can't be in life. I just really want to be in love. So love is really hard though, because raising a child is really some hard shit, especially changing diapers full of shit. And it's so much shit. Where does all this shit come from? And I'm blessed to see a breastfed mother. I'm looking at her nipple stretch so long. I'm like, damn. I want those back. But they're his now. So at the same time, I need you to throw out words so we can continue writing this poem. Music, music. I love music. The Roots are my favorite band, but then there's Earth, Wind, and Fire. Earth, Wind, and Fire, and love and desire. Not like Rick James and Tina Marie, because I need healthy love, not unhealthy love. Because love is love, and sometimes love ain't been love, but I need a piece of my piece to get a piece of my piece back. And purple used to be my favorite color. Shout out to Prince, because Purple Rain was my favorite album and my favorite movie at the same damn time. But green means life, and yellow means hold up, and the sun is shining, and gold is growing. And you said destiny. Let's take a deep breath for destiny, because we're all where we need to be. Nothing is by mistake. Everything is great. And most people are warring over perspectives, ideas, and opinions that ain't even theirs, thinking thoughts of somebody else because they're scared of losing friendships in pairs. The truth sometimes hurts, and shout out to Voices in Power. Your throat chakra is everywhere in the building. We chilling, we off the chain, busting through the roof, and the ceiling is never glass, it's not even existence. There's no sky, there's no limit. We are planets in the orbit, bouncing to one another. Solar systems, not solar systems, just solar systems. Shout out to you, just a solar system. What did you say? Evolve. I just said evolution, but we can evolve again. This poem is an evolving friend. I hope you want to take it home with you and listen to it again and again. Shout out to my social media, Greg Corbin Speaks, GregCorbinSpeaks. Shout that out. Hope all you follow me in the audience, and I'm going to demise from this demise, because at the same time, I'm writing a poem with you all. Self-love is the best love, hey. Self-love is the best love, hey. And I'm going to move from the microphone because I can do this all day. Peace.
Word. So y'all ain't getting no choice. Y'all getting these poems in my head. Because I had a list prepared. One day her good girl will expire. She will go sour like the milk you spilled and expected her not to cry over. Part of her will vanish because you forgot she is magic. She is a novel less tragic, more of a hopeless romance. She lost hope in a man. Fed up enough to throw up, she throw punches after the fight is over. Box shadows, knuckle up with the best of them. Been dealing with juvenile lies since let me stick the tip in. Right, y'all heard that, right? Let me get in just a little bit. These back shots will make your butt big. Masculinity, height, maybe needs some riddling. Go dumpster diver, trying to find a box just to fit her in. She goes hard for the win. When her good girl gets neglected, she tuck hers in. Bad bitch takeover. This is not revenge. This is just a makeover, a reboot. She is the sequel. She divides herself inside herself to find a part that is your equal. In this chapter, crown gets tilted on purpose. Glide turns into a stroll with purpose. Y'all been fighting over shit that's surface. Can't do patchwork just to cover up where the hurt is. Peace, God. She came in peace, God. Remember the day she introduced you to pieces of her God. Get religious. Find holy scriptures and then read it. Watch, rinse, repeat it, and then live it. Hashtag king shit your roots are showing. Orisha step in like queens be knowing. On her last dragon shit like queens be glowing. She believed in beautiful things like God, flowers, and you, waiting for who you said you are to pull through. She cheerleader. She was all rah-rah for you, but she waited to be let down. She fear leader. Don't catch hurt bait on her worst day. It's like picking up a rose and getting stabbed by her thorns. Watch you bleed. But she's a helper. She can't help it. She will still stitch you, fix you, and sing you the right tune. While she bleeds on the floor, ignoring her own wounds, she will still nurture you. Hashtag goddess shit. When he don't do his work, he bring his books to you. Make you decipher every chapter. Cover the title and scribble in happily ever after. Give you a test that you fail because you don't have the right tools. Pick and choose who's loving you. Is it who he said he was or who he showed you?
I don't want to go behind that. Give it up one more time for Tammy and Just Greg. Yeah, originally it was supposed to be the three kings, my brother E. Muhammad, but he got left in Baltimore, and here she come. Give it up for my sister one more time. That was, like he said, we fans of each other. I'm sitting, me and Greg back there just. That's his wife. I ain't say that? No. Oh, yeah, that's my. I was so busy hating. That's his that's E. Muhammad, my brother. That's his wife. That's my sister-in-law. We all fam. Let's go. See, I know why the caged Jim Crow sings. You lock it down, it loses its wings. Can't fly on those streets, so become prey to be devoured in the belly of the beast. America eats his poor. Got dark meat stuck between his teeth. So the slaves stayed in the sun and moved back towards slavery because them boys in the prison yard can't smell freedom in the air. So they become public enemy caught in the crosshair. But knowledge is power. My mind is black still in the chaos hour. And you can't convince me to change my attitude. So I know slavery started in America with indentured servitude. Now how that's any different from the day when a prison industrial complex gets inmates to work for pennies a day. And the media can't convince me that drug sales and don't cause color lines and ethnic groups, but disproportionately locked down as black and brown. European immigrants put Africans in chains. And Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic by the way of Spain, that's the way those slaves came. So the more things change, the more they stay the same. Say word. They've been trying to figure out what to do with the black and poor problem since the Reconstruction through the research. It ain't hard to tell. They was doing drug suites in college campuses. Them frat boys be calling mom and dad home to produce bail. But white privilege get a criminal justice system on a sliding scale. Ain't no black gangs in the suburbs. Blacks on the black, white the white, brown the brown. Everybody's getting high, no lie. But they want a racial profile and stop and frisk the gods. Listen, he was convicted by DNA evidence. He was convicted by eyewitness. Judge cracked gavel past sentence. For over 20 years, he was left sentenced till he got exonerated by DNA evidence proof. Put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, swear to tell the truth. How many that last scenario seen someone that looked like me, but his youth was wasted behind bars, and though he couldn't take it, put a belt around his neck and the cell becomes strange fruit. Noose. But I'm a man. I'm born to stand erect. I let words ejaculate from my larynx to tell the criminal justice system use a lying trick, and I come with the truth and let it bust all over you. That courtroom don't see men. Care less about that faith you believe in. So that leaves me writing these prison poetic laws way past the margins for my brothers and sisters who can't get control of government pardon. They say I recite like a lyrical rap. I'm half poet, half pastor. Work like a slave to become I self, Lord, and master of this craft. Black magic, witchcraft, nothing up my sleeve. I'm just using words to conjure up spells and make you believe in your brilliance. Human spirit, resilient. So if you upstate on those tears, no tears. Peace, queen. One love, king. See, I know why the caged Jim Crow sings.
Whoa, man. Sheesh. Y'all enjoying this? That's what's up. That's what's up. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. It's a long time for us. Like, woo. So I'm going to do a poem. First time I went to therapy. And to me, mental health is every day. And but just as important as mental health is emotional wellness. And a lot of us are not raised to relate to emotions from a literal stance. A lot of young boys that I've come across, a lot of grown men, and I know I've even had my own moments where I just can't find a word. And there's this thing called an emotional will. It might have been the best tool I've been introduced to in my work, especially around, in my daytime working in reentry, but also I'm a consultant around diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility and belonging. So I go into schools, I go into colleges, I go into corporations, and I'll do trainings and workshops. And while I'm doing that, what I notice what gets in the way of uncomfortable conversations is when people's feelings come up. And then that ignites a certain part of trauma, and then they get defensive because they don't have the language to feel safe in the moment. And a lot of times our trauma brings another version of ourselves up. Some people would call that the inner child. Something I would say is like what happens when your 8-year-old shows up at work, the scariest part of you. What do you do with that fear? And a lot of times we don't process, we just move. We're human doing, we're not being human beings. We're not really present as much as we would like to be sometimes. And I'm reading this poem because it's taken me about 13 years to write this poem. And so I hope you take something from it. And it's not the heaviest thing in the world, I want to say that. But I'm going to be doing something. My agent is putting together something as far as content creation in November. And I'm partnering with some organizations like Black Men Heal, Black Male Mental Health around this concept of what does it look like to go to therapy and what do you like about therapy? And I'm going to be asking questions. And one of the questions I asked on Facebook was the first time you went to therapy, what was the first time I went to therapy was for? And I had like 160 comments, and it was like divorce, postpartum, not making it through college, leaving a marriage, leaving a job, starting a business. Like people actually went to therapy for positive things too, right? Like people will go to therapy for these things we don't even think about, like big decisions in their life. So I'm doing my best to destigmatize it just with my being and my own walk and my own journey. And I'll be opening up more and more about that because I was bullied as a kid, and my inner child comes up every now and then, especially when I'm tired, and a lot of our chronic stress is igniting the fear. So here's the poem, and it's a love story. The first time I went to therapy. Whew, good luck to all the poets dating one another. This is one of those. Whew. Just dating talented motherfuckers. God damn. Okay. We were bold flames, loud light beams glowing, ambitious humans exposing their core to one another. The volcanic attraction was magnetic. Two planets drifting in a galaxy recreating the Big Bang Theory, and no matter how much passion there is, it is the compassion that can kill you. The ability to blindly forgive in the name of reconciliation, we were making up to break up the broken pieces we hoped each other could fix and heal and then rebuild. But we often did more damage than necessary because we just wanted to be loved. The first time I went to therapy, it was because I was afraid to be alone, isolated with my mistakes, picking at the flesh and bones of regret, the residue of the past. The first time I went to therapy, it was because I was trying to save a relationship with someone else instead of saving a relationship with myself. Each time the pain became too much to bear, the codependency in me reached out to reconnect, even though I was disconnected within. And somehow we would both agree to this dysfunction and do it all over again and again, in love with the idea of being in love. And sometimes you're not in love, sometimes you're in pain. You're in trauma. Stuck between a rock and a hard place, your bleeding heart cut and scraped. Sometimes there's no salve for the solution. You just have to heal through it. Intergenerational trust issues rooted in the soil of survival, operating from a space of fear, tears apart the most beautiful things. When your talents and gifts, no, not that poem. What the hell, where's the rest of that poem? Here we go, y'all. Each decision being made from a space of fear and protection. But what if we worked a relationship by working the relationship with our inner self? Because the partner is a reflection of you. The first time I ever went to therapy and had a conversation about myself, it was only framed around the conversation of saving someone else. All the broken pieces falling out of my mouth, word by word, a conversation that left me disturbed, the shattered glass lying on the floor, my emotions, fragile remnants of inner child insecurities. Everything mentioned was coming back to haunt me. Truth is, we've been trained to fight for things that are really fighting us. The first time I went to therapy and had a conversation about myself, it was only framed around a conversation of saving someone else instead of investing in the relationship with myself. So what happens when your inner child starts to show up inside your relationship? The first time I went to therapy, I finally learned how to see myself, and it feels like love, and it feels like comfort, and it feels uncomfortable, and it feels freeing, and it feels enslaving, and it feels disappointing, and it feels disturbing, and it feels, 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 and it feels like I'm alive. In the name of balance. The first time I went to therapy, I realized the best investment was me. So before I started relationships, I had to learn how to start a me-relationship. Peace.
Yes. And if y'all thinking about get in therapy. If you have not, if you don't think you don't need it, you do. You the main one that need it if you don't think you need it. But I'm telling you, man, it's the shit. It's really the shit. That's all I have to say about that. Okay. Oscar win for black women, throwing your pins. Crowd move like Red Seas when she walks in. Stutter, stutter, gossip start. Tell all your friends the queen's a bad bitch too. So let's begin. Good night, trophy wife. I give you life. Always doing the most like my name was Mike. Golden Bay, melanin popping on any day. Friends better than your friends. I slay, you slay. Tougher than a lot of men. I've been strong. Muscle on backbone. I've been on. Your favorite challenger? Yeah, I'm so gone. The Phillies with several gifts like your favorite joint. Hustling with lipstick and quick wit. Got a mean stroke for bruised egos with no dick. Line them up against the wall. I'm your favorite pick. Paramedics called. Yeah, they so sick. Plie in the space, wearing black tutus, black power, that backhand, nigga, you can't lose. Who the fuck you talking to? Now Serena's news. I'm not a cheater, bitch. I'd rather lose. Thanks. I like to do that to switch it up a little bit. So my favorite topic is black women because, you know, I'm one. So get into a little ditty I wrote called Be All of That. Yes. Be fake hair and long lashes. Give 7 lashes with swift tongues. Be ghetto fabulous. Be throwing and catching them words with your hands. Be all of that. Love God, but let them know that you don't play that shit. Be reserved on Monday morning, on Sunday. Let them know that you had to pray not to have to smack a bitch. Be pretty, period. Tell them to relax about your hair being relaxed. That perm don't stop you from supporting the facts. Taking a knee and throwing up a fist, that's black. Be all of that. You can be a queen with bad bitch tendencies if you wanted to. Don't let labels change your style. Stay true to you. Be comfortable. They say your presence in the room make you unapproachable. That has more to do with them and less to do with you. Be unapologetically black as fuck. Wear your fro to a job interview, put a bow with it and say that I am gifting this to you like a Fendi bag and a bad attitude. Be all of that. Be GED to PhD and still run shit. Be muffin top fit like fuck it, you gonna get all of this. Be polyamorous or monogamous as long as you love yourself in every relationship. Get up from that table when love is no longer being served, and that's in every manual from the hood to the burbs. Say word. Just because she gotta have it don't mean she want it from you. She got choices, you hearing voices, your little man must got you fooled. You gotta know how to play the game in order to shoot your shot. Her facial cues is her defense. This means you're being blocked. She mean mug, you like smile beautiful. She will when the moment is suitable. Don't be afraid to be all of that, be that stereotype. They'll tell stories of you to tuck themselves in that night like white baby sucking blessings from black breasts. Shit, they know we blessed. Stay on your college shit like we the best. Pat your weave, pick your fro, stroke your locks. They think you don't know you hot. They think you blinded by the plot. Let them think all of that. Don't fall into the imposter syndrome. You deserve all of your accolades from your hood to your throne. Drink your whiskey, sip your tea, be loving hip-hop and dynasty. Make sure you pray, get paid, get slayed, get laid in the best way. Tag all of your friends in your Me Too hashtags. Pick yourself up and get yourself back. Be all of that.
I'm gonna give it up. Come on, give it up. Keep it going. My inner hater almost turned your mic off, though. No, that was. Somebody asked me, you know, like you said, we're vets and we've been around each other. We even hit the road together and traveled. You know, somebody asked like, do y'all get tired of hearing each other poems? I'm like, no, because I'm always going to hear something I miss, and then I like to hear the line that I like when y'all hit it, when she hit it and y'all respond like, yeah, I like that line too. So it's like, it's always new. You're like, you know what I mean? This is dope, it's dope. And then it's never the same. You know what I mean? Because, you know, the staccatos and the inflections and the energy changes, so it's not the same poem all the time. Oh, that's enough talking. Poetic royalty of the metaphors and similes. Author of the visual language, imagery. Picture me reciting a poem on the street corner with that black gorilla family energy. Bald cap fitted, white t-shirt with George Jackson image. I'm as crazy as the gods when I write my life and recite with blood in my eyes. I shine like a diamond ring, fashion myself like a customized jeweler, bling. Measure stick for greatness, I am my own ruler, king. In this world that's dark and heavy, I came to make it light. How you royalty, you not rocking your crown right. You know they want us divided like Tutsi and Hutu. I'm trying to bring us together like Zulu. White supremacy is a lion giant, but the truth won't stop. I'm King David with a lyrical slingshot. What you think all these poems are for? I'm the elephant in the open mic room. I'm so Hannibal, I just want you to be more. But niggas love tragic figures. They will crucify your dreams in the slum. But 3 days later, only the King of Kings can resurrect them like birth. She's earth, but Malcolm says she's the most disrespected. You're a pawn if you leave your queen unprotected. The people's poet been elected king. 3 parts of a whole I bring. Mind, body, and soul. My thoughts black like Africa. Roots in Ethiopia. Walk like I'm royalty. North Philly, Haile Selassie. Acknowledge itself as wealth. Then a Mansa Musa Mali. But the government want my God body state property. Because where I'm from, young guns bury sons. And they fall like autumn leaves. That's why in the coldest winter they carry heat. They've been playing in our face for 400 summers. So I spring forward with good teaching. Respect the mic. It's King Shyste season. But you ever heard the sound that it makes when a king's heart breaks? Hear the tears streaming down inside of a poem. Creating emotional waters deep enough for your sins to swim in. It sounds like shortcomings and flaws. And I'm not going to lie to you and say I gave it my all, but when a king's heart breaks, it makes this horrific crack. The sound of your soulmate asking for half of her spirit back. And she can't remember why you and her were together in the first place. And forever has met its demise. It come from overused cliches, things we say in between I love you, and it's always going to be this way. Who knew that silence could be amplified so loud? The noise of emptiness between the sheets, no intimacy where we sleep. Hear my demons when they creep. Crown going up in the fire, thoughts, crown going up in the fire, crackling inside the flame. And I don't blame Queen for lighting the match. Because I put in her hand in the first place, plus gave her combustible fluids to do it. But it still hurts when the divorce court separates the gods from earth. I should have told my ego to shut the fuck up. Damn. But you with foolish pride out here doing too much. Instead, I let my ego bust all over side poems, and you can listen to poems and decide who's right and who's wrong. But that's not my point of view. I just wrote this to give her peace of mind and let her know that every season has its time, and ours is running late. Your dreams will dissipate when your queen looks you in your face and whispers, I don't want to do this anymore. Now that's what it sounds like when a king's heart breaks. You know, where you go? Another one of our good brothers, Vision, I met Vest Greg and Vision around the same time. He convinced me to write that poem. Because, you know, if you heard the couple of things I was doing first, he's like, yo, Shyste, sometimes we just got to be vulnerable and all that. Get the fuck out of here. I ain't doing no vulnerable shit. Away with that old vulnerable shit, boy. But you write where you at. So the poem, when I got divorced, it came out, and I'm all up here being all vulnerable and shit. But October 16th is very important to me, and you changed the date, and it was like came so symbolic. It's the anniversary of the Million Man March. My son's birthday, my oldest son's birthday. He was 5 when we went to the Million Man March, and that message and all that, it's why I do what I do. I'm not just doing spoken word. I'm an artist/activist. It's the activism coming to art. It's not me just doing poems. People invite me to their schools and workshops and at-risk programs where we start teaching. The first poem is a real poem. It's like me talking to the young brothers. That's where that poem comes from. I'm always talking. You had the teachable moments, meet them where they at, breadcrumb them to get them somewhere else, turn some of them to poets, some of them to readers, some of them just come back and say, yo, I joined the military and your poems got me through college and different scenarios. So it's always, that's the Million Man March is about using your gift, talent, and resources in your community. And that's what I got from the minister, and that's what I've been doing ever since. So thank you for being here. I don't know if I'm coming back up, but if I do, I'll see y'all later. If not, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Get vulnerable, nigga. Let me stop. So we only got a little bit of time. So I'm gonna do a piece. First of all, I got a book that I wrote my first book. The book is called Breathing Ashes, A Poetic Guide to Walking Through Fire and Coming Out Reborn. I want to shout out Corbin. Thank you for the purchase, my good brother. I appreciate you. And anybody else that wants to purchase it, please come and see me after. I appreciate you. It helps me pay my landlord in Pico and student loans that ridiculously still haunt me. So I'm going to do a poem actually about implicit bias. And it's implicit bias is basically, it's an automatic reaction that you have that's laced with prejudgment, that's really based off of just influence and persuasion from many things in society, right? And implicit bias or unconscious bias is what they put in a lot of workspaces now to make sure everybody can get along at least a little bit. And so this is when I wrote about my own personal implicit bias. And we're talking about vulnerability. I think this one is like, but here it goes. I'm going to do my best to get through it without touching this paper because it's been a while. I will be putting a video out around this piece too. So look forward to that. My Instagram is Greg Corbin Speaks. It's the best way to get in touch with me right now. You can email me at gregcorbinspeaks@gmail.com. Like I'm available for any consultancy or trainings. And I'll be doing some coaching around writing and public speaking soon. So creating my own rap to freedom. Okay, so here you go. It's a cold night. I'm walking home from work. There are 3 guys standing on the corner. I hear their voices. They are dressed in hoodies. I contemplate crossing the street. Do they know me? Do I know them? I can't let fear get the best of me. For whatever reason, I continue to move forward. When I arrive at the corner, what's up? All is peaceful. They say, what's up? It turns out it's 3 white guys. But what was I afraid of? That they were black? Like me? Who gave me these messages? This narrative to be afraid of myself. The media programmed the image of criminal in my mind a long time ago. We live in a society that is designed to see color before it sees human. When I was young, I learned this body was dangerous. I learned this body was a threat. I learned this body would have fear chase it like a laughing hyena, waiting to conquer it. As humans, we have this amazing ability to mimic systems, to reflect our environments. We're all looking for a clearer image of reality. I mean, ain't that the confusion, though? We got all this genetic trauma inside of our genetic code. They say I get it from my mama's mama or my father's father. Well, my father told me if somebody hits you, you damn sure better hit them back. Your word is your bond. Don't share your feelings in the streets. It will leave you vulnerable and weak. I'm a walking contradiction. A workstation processing my inheritance. I've mastered how to shine, how to avoid doom, how to avoid the darkness, to become light like alchemy, like alchemy, like alchemy, like alchemy, like alchemy. We are melanin magic. Marvelous marvels, prodigies of genius, golden hearts inside of our treasure chest. We got that rhythm, we got that walk, we got that blues, we got the saxophone inside of our bones, sound of horns, the trumpets are blaring. We've been known to walk on water. Been known to gargle fire while mastering the flicker of the flame. Been known to float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble. Sit underneath tree, praying in prayer mantis underneath leaves. Underneath roots, we carry the seed. If it wasn't for us, civilizations wouldn't even be. So imagine a world where our skin doesn't create fear. Imagine a world where our bodies experience joy because it's real. Imagine a world where we dance and it's not seen as a riot. Imagine a world where we hold women up without even touching them. There's an opportunity here. or orchestra of options and optimism. We've been known to pop the locks, to break the box, both mental and spiritual, invisible, invisible. We are children of the sun. We are children of the sun. Melanin magic, marvelous marvels, prodigies and genius, golden hearts inside of our treasure chest. The cavalry is not coming, the cavalry is here. And in the words of my mentor, the cavalry is not coming, the cavalry is here. In the words of my mentor, the cavalry is not coming, the cavalry is here. And since we are children of the sun, we have no choice but to rise.
Thank y'all. We out. No pretty words. I just remembered I didn't give y'all my information. So Lady Sarkazym. Sarcasm is spelled Sarkazym on Instagram. Thank y'all. It's been dope. Are you pleased, sir? You was nervous because I think you were a little nervous about me replacing E. Good night.
Yes. Yeah, and when he told her he was coming, he was like, I said, no, she got it, right? I just got to give you this information because I do have an album out with some of these poems and videos out for these poems that I want y'all to see. So it's just a different thing from live to the studio to the video images. So it's King_Shyste on IG. Connect with me so I can get this stuff to you. You're gonna enjoy it. I hope you're gonna enjoy it. But if you like what we did up on the stage, keep following it and see what else we got going on at Griot Soul Records. Griot Soul Records. You don't want to dance in your video?
I just want to say to all the familiar faces, especially the young people in the room who know me for years, it's been a pleasure. So many, like for over the last 15 years, it's been a pleasure. You've given me life in ways you don't even know, and a reminder that every part of my body and every part of my cell memory needed. I love you all dearly, and for everybody that's new friends and new associates, I appreciate you as well. Louis, you got my support whenever, good brother, any phone call, you got it, always. And I appreciate the humility and the vision you have for something that's needed, no matter what. Holler at me if you want to help me pay my landlord.
All right, can we get the lights on real quick? Nobody leave yet. If everybody could just stand. I love to send the artist off well. Just show I think when we stand up, we just show some honor in what they're doing. So we could cut the main lights on, whoever is handling that. And then, yeah, that's bright. Just like on some real, we could just go after that. I just want to say thank you one more time to these people. Make some noise, y'all, for them. Yeah. And the different styles, the dynamic of each performer.